my name is JD and this is my channel Frost and Forest. Today I wanted to share a new deck with you. This deck is a deck that I just got this week and I've been using it a ton, and I kind of can't put it down because I'm just super excited about it. And so the deck that I'm going to share with you today is called the Oracle of the Living Spell. Look at those beautiful backs. This is a deck that was created by Cedar Moonwitch, and I was able to get a copy. And this is just basically a really great deck. I'm going to start showing some of the cards because I'm excited. I just absolutely love the combination of sort of witchy in the forest kind of vibe. It's so great. And these backs are so beautiful. But yeah, this is just such a great deck. And this isn't in order because I've been using it a ton. But it's also an oracle deck, so I don't feel like you need to see it in order necessarily. So yeah, it's a really sweet deck. It does have some gilding on the edges as well. And yeah, I love the witchy vibe. And I've been mostly using it for my daily tarot pulls. And so how I've been doing that is I've been starting out by pulling a deck or a card from the Oracle of Living Spell. This deck, this beautiful deck right here. And that is kind of my area that I have been focusing on, or maybe has become important to me during the day. Also, can I just say, I don't know if you noticed the frog, but I love the frog that is kind of like her familiar or her friend in this deck. I think this is so great. So anyway, how I've been using this deck is I've been using this as kind of my center card. And then I have been using the Viola Lux Umbra tarot with it. And then I've kind of been pulling a tarot card for sort of the context for the day. And if you've seen some of my other videos, you might remember that this is a deck I've actively been trying to work with, this one, because I do have the Ophidia Rosa and I love that deck. And so these two just had that like witchy, beautiful witchy vibe that I was excited about. And then also for my daily pulls, I also took a card. I also pulled a card from the Nocturna Oracle. These are the backs. This is this deck. And so every day I've kind of been pulling a card from all of these three decks. And one of the things I like about the Oracle of a Living Spell is it does have kind of a dark and moody feeling to it. And so some of these darker decks I think pair really nicely with it. But then of course there is light, because as you can see, there are lighter cards like this one. But I love how woodsy this deck is. And then there's the frog again, of course. So yeah, this is the pairing that I've been using this week. I think it worked really well. Oh, and I forgot to say, so this card was kind of the where should I go from there point of view. So this was kind of the general theme, this was the context, and this was the sort of where to go from there card. And all of these decks worked beautifully together. So I have been super inspired by this oracle. So I also wanted to show you all some other pairings that I have been thinking about and that I think would be awesome with this deck. Also, before I show you some pairs, I did want to show you this really cool bag that the deck came in. I basically, since I've gotten it, it hasn't gone back in the bag, but I thought it would be fun to share that. And I do have sort of a prototype guidebook, but I'm not going to show that because that's not the final version yet, but it does come with a really great guidebook. Okay, so let's look at some other pairs. So part of what I love about this deck is it's very woodsy and it's very witchy. And so when I was thinking about decks to pair it with, I was thinking woodsy and witchy, which means that this ends up, I think, hopefully looking really nice with some of my favorite decks. So one of the first decks that I thought it would go really nicely with is the Midnight Magic Tarot. So I think that it would pair really nicely with this deck. This has a very, the Midnight Magic has a very woodsy and magical vibe. And so I think it goes nicely with the sort of woodsy, magical vibe of the Oracle of Living Spell. Don't these just look beautiful together? I think that this will be a great combination. I could see definitely using this pair for like a full moon practice. I could see, you know, using this pair for sort of a summer's night card pull. And part of what I love about the Midnight Magic pairing with it is this deck really focuses on the mushrooms. And so it feels like a really good supporter to this oracle that, you know, really focuses on this witch. So yeah, that is one pairing I am excited to try out, especially this summer. And so, of course, if we are thinking about woodsy and cozy, I definitely want to try it with another one of my favorite decks, the Lighted Window Tarot. I do think the Lighted Window Tarot has kind of also slight witchy vibe to it, some of the cards. And the art styles in this pair maybe don't match perfectly, but I think the woodsiness matches, and I think the colors match as well. So see, yeah, this has kind of a witchy feel to it too. But again, I think the Lighted Window does a good job of kind of being a supportive deck with the Oracle as the focal point. So yeah, these are just so great together. Isn't that beautiful? Just the colors seem to kind of go together. Yeah. That's another pair I think would be good. Also have some Oracle decks that I think would look really nice with it. It's not necessarily common for me to put an oracle deck with an oracle deck, but you know, in some cases I might put an oracle deck, like I might put 2 oracle decks together with a tarot. And so I do want to show some oracle decks that I think are kind of cool with it. So one of them that I was thinking about is the Arcana Folia Oracle. This deck kind of has the feeling of sort of witchiness and then sort of witchy tools that goes along. The offering, like, isn't that beautiful? The offering with reciprocity to give help and receive help. And the pleasure and the sparkle, wonder, delight, and joy. Enjoy the fruits of life. I think these 2 decks like each other. Information. Pay attention to details. Rebirth. Yeah. So this is another one that they both have sort of a foresty vibe. They both lean very much into green. And I think these 2 pair beautifully. So yeah, this is another pairing that I could definitely see myself using. Okay. So another oracle that I think would look really good is Earth, Soul, and Spirits Oracle. This just feels like it has a very, you know, witchy vibe to it. This maybe doesn't match quite as well as some of the other pairings, but I could still see using these together. Just because they both have kind of that witchy feel to them. Yeah, so not my favorite pairing, but you know, I think it would be good. And I still think if I'm looking for a witchy vibe, I could see myself putting them together. Then the last deck that I was thinking about is the Practical Magic Inner. I just have the Oracle deck. But you know, similar to the Arcana Folia, this feels like sort of a witchy deck with witchy tools to go along with it. Yeah. These very much feel like they could go together. I think they're beautiful. One of the things that I really liked about the Oracle of Living Spell when I was using it this week is that the keywords were really good. So the keywords on the bottom are really good, but also the guidebook was really good at kind of expanding on what the keywords were saying, which I thought was great. At least when I was using it, it was very, very spot on. Didn't kind of pull its punches, but also the way the cards were showing up was not necessarily the most obvious way of looking at the card. And so it ended up coming out feeling like I love this card. I love the boundary. I love the frog. This is one card I got this week, and it was great. And so yeah, it surprised me because of the way the cards came out. And it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't just the most obvious way of looking at them. Okay, there's one more oracle that I would like to try with this deck. The Green Witch Oracle. Let's see how that one works. Interesting. I kind of like the way these two look together also. This has a very, you know, sort of darker, or not dark, but the art is more, yeah, but I think that this is a good pairing as well. Again, they both have sort of that foresty, witchy vibe to them. Okay, so that is the last pair I wanted to sort of take a look at and share. And so yeah, that's just kind of, you know, that's kind of the video. I was just so excited to get this deck, and I've been using it so much that I just wanted to share it. It is currently on pre-order, I believe. So if you love it and would like a copy of it, I would definitely go check out Cedar Moon Witch's channel. Sarah did such a great job with this deck. It's so amazing. So yeah, anyway, I hope you enjoyed getting to know this deck a little bit more, and I'll see you the next time.